Hi guys, it's SimLicy here, so welcome to another speed build. So today I am sharing part 2 of this secret spy family home that I built. So if you guys have not seen the first part, I will have it linked in the description. And in the first part, I built the entire exterior, I did the floor plan and picked out the wallpapers and the flooring. I do switch up, I think, some of the flooring and wallpapers in this part. I can't exactly remember because I did build this quite a while ago, like 3 weeks ago, maybe 4. I built it before I went away on vacation, so if you guys did miss it, I have been away for the 2.5 weeks, something like that. I went away to Europe and I had the most amazing time. I did talk about it a little bit in the last part, but basically I just had an amazing time. I don't know how else to describe it. We went to Spain, Portugal, and France mostly, and just a tiny little day trip through part of Switzerland. And we really loved everything, like the people, the houses. Of course, I was definitely really inspired by the houses. I took a few pictures of homes. It was a little bit awkward, like stopping in front of people's houses and taking pictures of their homes. So I only did it a couple of times, but a lot of you guys have been asking for me to build something inspired by my trip. So I think I'll go through the few photos I have and build one of the houses that I saw. But definitely, I think just different things that I saw with landscapes and like people's gardens and the exteriors. I think I'm just going to be really inspired by that just from seeing it in my builds. I think you guys probably know what I mean, because yesterday I was actually going through and building some stuff in Glimmerbrook. No, I did not say that correctly. Glimmerbrook, the new world that came with the Realm of Magic pack. I was building in there and I was already like trying to do things that I saw over there that I've never seen before on real homes. And actually like some items that we've had in game, like the awning that we got with Get Famous. I saw so many awnings like that above people's front doors, and I never really understood that awning because I'd never seen one in real life. But now that I've seen like literally so many homes, especially in southwestern France, I think is where it was, I saw a lot of homes with awnings like that. So I'm just really inspired, and I will definitely be bringing a lot of that to my builds. But for now, I am building this house, well, sharing this build, even though I built it before I left. So you will not see the new configurable stairs. You will not see anything from Realm of Magic in this build. But this house is for a secret spy, like I mentioned, and I did get this idea suggested to me quite a while ago. I'm not really sure how long, and I do apologize because I forgot to write down who suggested it to me, and I usually like to kind of give a little bit of a thank you shout out type of thing when I do a video based on a suggestion, but unfortunately I was really not thoughtful on that and did not write it down. So if it was you, I really appreciate this idea because this build was so much fun. I love the way I decorated the interior. It's very fancy. At least that's what I was trying to go for. So hopefully it looks fancy to you guys. And then of course I have the secret spy area. So I haven't completely worked out this family. I'm not sure which one of the parents, or if it's a single parent, that's totally possible. But yeah, I haven't completely worked it out, but one of them is a secret spy, and I was thinking the other one could be a cop because I kind of put a few like cop things around. So yeah, I don't know. As I build this and you guys are watching the build, if you guys get any ideas, definitely leave them in the comments for me, and I will be creating a family to live in this house for my save file. And I just really love the way this whole build turned out, because this was basically the entire vision I had for this neighborhood in Newcrest, because we are building in Newcrest. We are building on the, if you're looking at your game at the map, it's the right side where there's that whole row of lots. Oh my goodness. This is my second voiceover I've done since I've been back, so please forgive me. But anyways, there's this whole row of lots. That is really hard for me to say. And that part of Newcrest I really want to be like fancier, more wealthier Sims. And the first two houses that I built here, it didn't really come across that they were that fancy. They were more just like homey and cozy and cluttered, which I absolutely love. That's my favorite way to build. But I really wanted like my vision to come across, if you guys get what I mean, and it wasn't. And so I was getting really frustrated with this area, and I took a break from building in Newcrest for quite a while. But then I came back and built another home that was a little bit more fancy, and then I built this, and I'm like, okay, this is exactly what I pictured. And then I made a few changes to the exteriors, because another reason I was having trouble with this neighborhood is the first two houses that I built, I felt like they looked too similar, which was intentional because I wanted the houses to look like they came from the same like time period or the same architectural style. And I don't really know what this architectural style is that I'm going for because I'm kind of making it up. I mean, I've definitely seen houses that look similar to it, but mostly I'm making it up. So it's been a little bit difficult, and trying to not make them look too similar has been a bit of a challenge. But I think I've finally started to make it work, and I'm really pleased with the way this whole neighborhood and this whole world in general has been coming together. Now I only have one more lot to finish in this neighborhood. The more starter family neighborhood is completely finished, and I have gotten actually a lot of questions about that neighborhood because there's one lot that I haven't shared, and that's because I built a starter house on that lot. So it's one of these smaller, I think it's like a 20 by 15 lot. So I built a starter house. Each of the worlds will have a starter home that your Sims can move into, so you don't have to kick anybody out of my houses because I will have pre-made households in every house. And yeah, you won't have to kick anybody out. You can just move into them, or if you want to live in their house, you could just move them into the house instead of leaving them homeless. So that's definitely a possibility. But my starter houses will be under 20,000 simoleons, so you can start off with one Sim. You can start off with a couple Sims because a few of them do have 2 bedrooms. I don't think I have any with 3, but I know a lot of them do have 2 bedrooms, and they just aren't furnished. So they're an empty house. They have counters, they have bathrooms, and kitchens. So your Sims can survive in there. You'll just have to find somewhere for them to sleep until they can afford a bed. But I really like that idea. That's how I've always wanted to play the game, and I've never really had a good starter house. I mean, I've done it a little bit where I'll just like empty out a house and try to decorate a home and get my Sim to buy all their things as they, earn money and stuff. So I like that idea. Hopefully you guys do too, but that's why you guys have not seen a video of that lot. But I just finished my starter house for the world that we got with the, why am I having such a hard time with it? The Spellcaster pack, the Realm of Magic, is that what it's called? Yeah, I think so. But yeah, I built a starter house for that world, and then now I just have one more to finish, and that is for the world that we got with the Vampires game pack. I've tried building that one before, and I was struggling with the budget. So I'm going to try it again, and as soon as I finish that one, then every single world up until this point has a starter house, and I will be doing a tour of those. And yeah, I'm really excited to share them with you because they're some of my favorite houses. And then once my save file is complete and I've released it to you guys, I will be going through and doing videos on each of those houses. I haven't recorded them, which was really stupid on my part. So I think what I will do is rebuild the exterior and the landscaping and then go through and furnish them if that's what you guys want. If you guys don't mind, then I'll just go through and do videos of me furnishing them. That way, if you don't want them empty, you can easily go on the gallery and download furnished versions of them. So hopefully my little spiel on that made sense, but I'll try to explain it better when I officially do a video on that. But here you can see me making room for a basement. I built this house knowing that I was going to do it for like a secret spy, and then I did not make really good room for a basement, so I kind of struggled with it, but I think I made it work. I think it looks okay, and I really like the basement area because you go down into it. It's not like hidden or anything. There's a laundry room, but then I built this wall of bookcases, which maybe makes no sense for a basement to have a bunch of bookcases down there, but we'll see it, I think, towards the end of the video. But my thought process was that they were books on like gardening and woodworking and maybe just like household stuff, and they were just like old books and it was kind of storage, but they look like regular bookcases. So we will see that later on, but for now I'm working on the bathroom. This is the only downstairs bathroom. I rambled on through the living room. The dining room is my favorite room in this house, and I don't think I've ever liked a dining room that much, but I think it looks so pretty, and I love the bar area, and it totally works. I think maybe I shouldn't say it totally works. I think I play tested it. I will make sure before I upload it to the gallery, or no, I've already uploaded it to the gallery. Hopefully it works, but it looks really pretty anyways. And then here I'm decorating the exit way to the house, the back door area, whatever you want to call it. And I put a shelf here that has some dog leashes hanging from it. And then I also put this dog statue on top of it, and I thought that was really cute. I was kind of happy about that. So I did imagine that this family has a dog. I'm not sure if they have 1 dog, 2 dogs, or what kind of dog it is. So if you guys have any opinions on that, definitely let me know. And then over here is going to be, it's like an adult game room. They do have a teenager, so the teenager could obviously use the table too. And I think, can kids play at this table? I don't exactly know, but I did think that this was more for entertaining. I did think that the parents were kind of like socialites. They like to throw a lot of parties. They're probably friends with a lot of really wealthy people and maybe like politicians, and they'll hold dinner parties and stuff at their house, and they have a place to play some games or something like that. That's the idea I had. It's kind of a loose idea, so I haven't completely worked everything out, but since I had this extra space for it, I thought it kind of made sense. Or maybe one of the parents just has like a game night or poker night with some of their friends. That's definitely a possibility too. And then over here is going to be an office area. The office is pretty basic, I guess. It's not very interesting, but I do get a desk in here with a computer and then some bookcases. You will notice that there is no TV in the living room, and that was intentional because I didn't really think it would match the style of the build, and I don't think I got a TV anywhere in the build. And I was trying to justify it as I was building it because Sims definitely like to watch TV. It's a great way to get their fun up and have something for them to do. But I mean, they can play games on the computer or they can read, but I definitely thought that the reason they didn't have a TV is because the parents were pretty strict on their children and didn't want them watching TV. And yeah, I don't know, that's basically as far as I got with that idea, but you could easily add one in above the fireplace if you would like to have a TV. I just like the painting better. But here you can see I'm moving on to the upstairs, just switching up the flooring. I really wanted to use the vampire flooring because I liked the blue. It matched the doors that I was using on the exterior, but I don't know, it didn't really go with the entire theme I wanted to go for the rest of the build, and so I thought these marble tiles actually worked really nicely. And then here is going to be the shared bathroom for the children. Normally when I do children's bathrooms, I do make them a little bit messier, but for this particular build, I wanted it to be more tidy because I do think they have a maid, possibly. Not a butler because I didn't make a room for a butler, but you could easily add one like as an extension into the basement because you could make the basement essentially as big as you would like it to be. So that's a possibility, but yeah, I didn't want it to be messy because I don't think the parents really let the house get messy or leave any mess laying around. I feel like they're probably pretty strict on their kids picking up after themselves. At least that's the idea that I've had so far for the family, and yeah, I like that idea. But here you can see I'm working on this play area, and I absolutely love including play areas in my build. It's not something that I've done or tried to do for a very long time, but a few months ago when the Island Living Pack came out, I built a 100 baby house for a family of mermaids, and in that build I really tried to make it very kid focused, and I've mentioned this a few different times, but when I did that I was just like, I don't know, I just had a lot of fun trying to make it feel very kid focused. So ever since then, anytime I've had space to do a playroom, I've tried to include them, and I'm really happy that I was able to include it in this build because I think it's really cute, even though it's not as like cluttered and messy as I would normally do a play area, or as colorful either. It kind of matches the rest of the build, which I think works for this home, but it wouldn't work, I don't think, in other homes, but this time I think it works. And I really liked being able to include the puppet show thing that I think came from Kids Room Stuff, I think, if I remember correctly. But I never get to use that item. It's way too big. I think I've only used it in one other build for my save file, and before then maybe one other build before that. I'm not exactly sure, but it's ginormous. I never get to use it. But since I was thinking that the kids weren't allowed to watch TV, maybe the parents were like, if you really want to watch TV, then you can create your own TV. And so they have to put on, or they don't have to, but they like to put on their own shows. And actually, I think I only created one kid in this household, so I think they'll have to have a friend come over and do that with them, because I did decide to make the other room for a teenager, and then I did a nursery, and I'm really happy with the nursery. But again, as I've mentioned so many different times, I really want updated babies. The babies are so sad. I really think they could be really adorable, and if you could take them out in strollers, or, I mean, we don't have to be able to do too much with them, but be able to like walk around with them would be so nice, and have them maybe have different outfits and stuff so they look a little bit different, so they all don't look exactly the same, because I think the only difference, other than like their skin color and their eye color, do they have hair? I can't remember if the babies have hair. I don't think they do. Maybe like a little bit of like coloration that makes it look like hair. I'm not exactly sure. Obviously, I haven't played with babies in a while, so I don't remember, but being able to take them out of their rooms would be so nice because all you can really do is like show them off, and that seems to hardly ever work. And yeah, having like more items to decorate nurseries with would be so cute. Like if we got like a nursery stuff pack, I would be in love. But anyways, here I am decorating the master bathroom. I love this bathroom. I think it's so pretty. I love being able to fit the jacuzzi tub in here. It makes it feel very fancy. And I also liked how I did this corner counter space. I felt like that was a little bit different than how I normally do bathrooms. So that was a lot of fun because if you guys have been watching my videos for a while, you probably know that I have mentioned that I really want to mix up my bathrooms because I feel like they all look the same, but then I don't really know what to do with them because they're just bathrooms. You basically have to use the same items. So anytime I make one that looks a little bit different, I'm always really excited. But here is going to be the master bedroom. And in here, I use a lot of stuff from Vintage Glamour. I mean, I used a lot of stuff from Vintage Glamour throughout the rest of the build too, but this room just feels so concentrated because of the bed and then the dresser and then the curtains. And I absolutely love it. It looks a little bit over the top and kind of gaudy. And that makes me really excited to create the household because I think one of the parents is going to be maybe a little bit more gaudy and fancy, and they like things more over the top, and so it really comes across in the bedroom, whereas the rest of the house I feel like it's a little bit more settled, at least not as over the top with all of the Vintage Glamour items. And I don't know, I had a lot of fun with it, so I definitely like the way it looks. And then over here I do have a vanity table, so a sim could sit here and do their makeup. And yeah, I do place a little bit of clutter, some candles, tissue box, and then also some magazines. I love including that stack of magazines. It's one of my favorite items in game now. It came with the Moschino stuff pack, and I love that. I hope we get more items like it. Like I hope that that's not like the only stack of magazines that we ever get, because I would love to see more of them. But here you can see I am decorating the nursery. Originally, I was planning on making this a toddler's bedroom, but then I decided to do a nursery, so they're not a toddler yet, and I think it's so cute. I love trying to make nurseries. I think they're so adorable. Even though we don't really have a lot of items or a lot of variety, I still think they turn out adorable. But again, I would love updated babies and like a nursery pack, or like even just like a little baby update where we got like 2 items. I would be really excited about it. But here I'm going through the debug menu because there are a few baby related items in here, like some diapers and some bottles and books and toys and things that are really cute to decorate with. So I think I made it work, and I absolutely love it. And yeah, I think the color scheme that I went for is the color scheme that I always go for in nurseries. So next time I will definitely have to mix it up because I pretty much always go for like a yellow and green, but I like that in nurseries and it makes it feel really calming, and it's kind of like a pastel color. So at least this yellow is a nice pastel color, so it makes it feel more like it's for a baby in my opinion. So that's what I like to do, and I think it does turn out to be really adorable. I really liked adding that little plushie that looks like a bunny. I think it has an Easter egg on its foot. It's so cute. And I do get a few activities in here, like the bookcase, so your Sims could come in here and pretend like they are reading to the baby. Unfortunately, that's not an activity that's actually possible. They can read to their toddlers, however, so once they become a toddler, then you could have them read their toddler to sleep or just read them a story, and all of those extra activities that they can do with toddlers that are so cute. But here you can see I'm moving on into the next bedroom, and this is going to be for a child sim. So like I said, I do have 1 child in this build, and then the next kid's room is going to be for a teenager, and I really like the way the teenager's room turned out. That's probably my favorite out of the bedrooms in the house, but this room is also really cute. I went for this pink and green color scheme in here, which I really like. I think pink and green, it's more of like a minty green, so maybe it's a little bit more on the blue side. I'm not exactly sure, but I love those colors together. I think they're really pretty. I think they go nice together. And this kid, I did think that they were really like a good kid. They like to do all of the extracurricular activities. They're really good in school. They play the violin, and they always do their lessons and their homeworks. They're very studious, and yeah, I feel like this is the child that the parents like want. They're probably like a neat kid. They always pick up after themselves, and yeah, maybe they won't always be that way. So maybe when they become a teenager, things will be completely different. I don't know. You guys could definitely go with whatever story you want to go with. But I just wanted to make their room very cutesy and more tidy, I think, than I normally do kids' rooms. It's still a little bit cluttered because I just can't help myself. I have to add toys and decorations, but I really tried to hold back and not add as many like posters and like random toys and like cluttered shelves and things. So I tried to hold back, and I think it actually works out really nicely. And I was happy to be able to include a dollhouse in here because that's also another item that's really big and not that easy to include. You can size them down and your Sims can still play with them. Unlike some of the other objects, like I think if you sized down the puppet show, maybe it would still work, but I imagine the animations would look really weird. But as far as I know, the dollhouses don't really mess up when you size them down. But either way, I was happy to put it in there. And then here you can see I'm moving on to the last bedroom of the build. So this is for a teenager, and this teen is really into sports. And I don't think I've really done that many teenagers' bedrooms for my save file where they're really into sports. I couldn't really think of that many, like only 2. So I think I'll probably have to include maybe one other one. I'm not exactly sure. I need to make sure that I have a good variety of teenagers that are into different things. So I need to go through my households and make sure. But yeah, this kid I was thinking is a teenage girl, and I think she is just really into sports, but I feel like she probably wants to, I don't know, branch out into other things. I'm not sure exactly what that is, but I feel like she's always been naturally athletic. She's just really good at sports, and I don't know, I want to add a little bit more drama with it, but I can't really think of anything that would really work. And so maybe I'm trying to force it, and I should just leave it alone and let her be into sports. And if she continues with that, that's up to you guys when you play with my save. So I'll probably just leave it at that. But if you guys have any ideas, definitely let me know. But I think her room is really cute. Again, it's more tidy than I normally do. I did add a few posters, but I tried to hold back and not make it too cluttered and messy. But I did place a pet bed in there, so maybe the dog of the household is more their dog, or they like to sleep in there, so they put a bed in there for them. So yeah, I thought that was pretty cute. And then this is going to be the side balcony. So as I mentioned in last part, I did decorate the exterior, or at least some of the exterior in this part. I was going to include it in the first part since that was mainly focused on the exterior, but it looked a little bit weird when I was going through and editing the footage to be able to see the house fully furnished, and so I just decided to leave it in this part. So hopefully you guys don't mind. But then here on the back porch, I do have an outdoor dining table so they could sit here and eat. I think I have a barbecue out here too that you may have seen me place in the first part. And yeah, it's very simple, not too much going on, but I think it looks really nice. And then on the upper balcony, I do a seating area, and I think a lemonade pitcher and maybe an art easel. Again, it's been a while and I didn't check all the screenshots, so I'm not exactly sure, but yeah, I think they all look really nice. And then we will be moving on into the basement area, which is the last part of the build, and I'm really excited to share it with you guys because I haven't done, I don't think, anything like this. Maybe I have and I'm just forgetting, but I know I haven't done anything that was specifically for a spy. And actually, I think, isn't Bella Goth a spy? Correct me if I'm wrong. I think she is, but if she is, I'm going to go back into the Goth's house and maybe make a secret room for her too, and then these could be like co-workers, because I think she would probably want to be pretty secretive about it. I feel like any spy would want to be, even from their own family members, because that could place their family in danger if they found out. So yeah, let me know. I will check out the Goths, and if I need to update their house, I definitely will, because I like that idea. But here you can see I'm moving down into the basement. So I did want to have a laundry room area, so I decided to make this first part of the basement a laundry room. If you can hear my cat meowing, he is in the hallway meowing for some reason. I have no idea why, but trying to get my attention. But yeah, I wanted to have a laundry room, and since I decided not to place a laundry room anywhere in the main living area of the house, I decided to place it down here, and I think it works really nicely. And yeah, I like the way it turns out. It's not that interesting. There's not that much I can say about it because it's just a little washer and dryer area where your Sims can do their laundry. But down here, I also place a woodworking table and then those bookcases like I mentioned. So we do have this door that came with base game, and the door is like a secret door. It looks like a bookcase, and then we do have a matching bookcase that goes with it. So you'll see me place it here in just a moment, and I think it actually works out really nicely. So this is the bookcase that I'm talking about, or the door that I'm talking about, and then I'll place the bookcase next to it, and I wanted them to look like they were like flush with each other. I didn't want it to look like a door at all. I really wanted it to blend together, so I messed with a few different things, and I think it looked so good. Like, I'm really proud of the way it turned out. I did have to leave this awkward empty space behind the bookcase, but for what I'm building, I think it completely works. Originally, I was wanting it to look more like storage. Like I mentioned earlier, I felt like the bookcases were a little bit strange to have in a basement. So in my mind, it's extra storage. If there's books in there, it's books on like housework, like woodworking and gardening and things that maybe make more sense in a basement, but I probably don't have to justify it to myself. But for whatever reason, I was trying to make it more realistic in my head. But either way, I really like the way it turns out. And here we are finally moving on into the room for the secret spy. And something I should probably mention is in The Sims 4, there is a couple of different ways that you could possibly be a spy-like character. So in my mind, I was going with the secret agent career that we got with base game, but with the pack Strangerville, we do have the military career, and there is a branch of that career that I think is kind of like a spy-like character. So you could use that if you wanted to, but I was thinking secret agent. And so with the secret agent career, there's a couple of branches. I don't know if either of them are really like a spy. I think there's one that is maybe called something with a spy when you're promoted. It's like a level of the career, but there's two different branches, and one of them is more like a villain type character. And so I put this vault in here, and I thought that was like a really fun idea, because maybe things that they've stolen, or I don't know if I want to go the villain direction, because that really wasn't my original plan, but it totally works with adding the vault in here, because they could have, like, I don't know, stolen money or like jewelry or something, and they have this vault to store it in. And I also was thinking that it could be kind of a fun idea that if their job is completely secret, like even from their spouse, that's also a really fun idea. So I don't know. I feel like there's so many different ways I can go with this household, and different ways you guys could play with it. There's so much like drama and mystery and lots of fun things that I think you guys could do while playing in a household like this. So yeah, I had a lot of fun with it. As you guys could probably tell, I've mentioned that so many different times, but yeah, I really enjoyed it. But here you can see I'm just picking out a bunch of decorations and clutter, and I tried to make it look messy and kind of chaotic, which I think is very different from the rest of the build. And I thought that was a fun contrast, and I thought that was pretty interesting anyway. So hopefully you guys like that idea. And yeah, other than that, I'm just adding a bunch of decorations and continuing adding the clutter and stuff. Really, I had no direction or plan, so it's kind of hard to talk about it because I was really just in the moment trying to figure out exactly what I thought looked good or what made sense. And in the end, I do really like it, but it did take me a while to get there. And something I did want to point out, I do have a wall going through the front of the vault. I had never played with one of those before or used them in a build, so I really had no clue how they worked. I wasn't sure if they were like the closets from Get Together or if they were like a different item type, and they ended up being completely different than the closets. So I did have to delete that wall, and yeah, I thought I would mention that in case you noticed it and were like, the Sims aren't going to be able to enter. I did make sure to play test it and had to delete the wall, and yeah, everything seems to work just as it should. But this is basically how the room looks. I think I switched up the wallpapers a little bit, and I was trying to figure out what I should do in the center of the room. I wasn't sure if I should include anything, and I couldn't really find anything that I thought made sense. The closest thing that I found was the cloning machine from Get to Work, and I liked the idea of that, but I didn't think it really made any sense. So I decided just to leave the center of the room empty, and I think that was the best way to go. So that's what I decided to do, but this is basically it for the build. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed this one. I had so much fun building this house. I thought having a secret spy area was such a fun idea, and I just really enjoyed this whole build. So yeah, hopefully you guys have enjoyed it too. Thank you so much for watching, and please leave any comments or suggestions that you have, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye!
never felt tomorrow closing in this fast. Oh, I guess time's in a rush. Leaves are falling down, but at least they grow back, while I'm on a one-way track. Now I know what it means to grow old. Yeah, now I know the time I got, it is just enough to get by. Yeah, it is just enough to get by. Sometimes I understand I'm making all the wrong demands in life. It never pays in the end, but still I am here, moving on like before. I'm yearning to reach the shore. Now I know what it means to grow old. Yeah, now I know the time I've got, it is just enough to get by. Oh, now I know what it means to grow old. Yeah, now I know the time I've got, it is just enough to get by. Yeah, it is just enough